Welcome to our weekly program, Memories I Cherish. And today we have in our studios Mr. Ranjeet Seelagan. Mr. Ranjeet Seelagan, we welcome you to our studios, our program. And we have a chance to learn, from you, from your experiences. When did you migrate to US?
I came to the US in the late 70s from Trinidad, and we went into New York City.
What brought you here to US?
Well, a combination of two things. One is um, back home in Trinidad, I was a high school teacher, and I saw that opportunity for um, achieving a good quality life. I was just escaping. Cost of living was increasing rapidly. Salaries were not increasing. Um, the quality of students was dropping because we were starting to have disciplinary problems. And so teaching was becoming more difficult for those teachers who cared about teaching and who cared about students learning. So that was frustrating. And also, I was interested in environmental studies at the master's level, and that was not offered in Trinidad. The University of the West Indies was and still is an affiliate of Cambridge University, but they did not offer environmental studies there. So when I came to the States, that was one of the first things I looked into, and quite interestingly, the very first month I came in, I looked at the New York Times. I saw this advertisement, Master of Science in Environmental Toxicology, and I said, "Wow, this is what I wanted." And I was able to get in to the. I came in December, and I was able to start school in January.
What I understand, you served with passion and commitment.
Yes,
Do you think you were received by other colleagues, since you are an alien to them? Did they receive you with the same commitment or passion you had?
my passion was without doubt recognized not only by my colleagues, but when I go into other people's work environment, um, they will recognize it because I did not have the attitude of enforcement. I am here to enforce the law, and you're going to follow the law or else. Um, my attitude was, I'm really here from the government, I'm really here to help you. And so many times they will laugh at that. I'm from the government and I'm here to help you. And then I'm saying, yeah, but I'm going to prove it to you too. You see, so, and then they'll recognize that, oh, yeah, he can make life difficult for me, but he's making it so easy and he's actually educating me. And so that they recognize as my passion. Among my colleagues, um, well, you always have a whole variety of responses from people. That's the nature of who we are as people. And there are several complex um, processes going on in our minds. That I ignore because I know if I engage in that, it will be self-defeating.
So
So I just ignore.
let's go back to your country. That was Trinidad. I know you mentioned your country in the beginning of our talk, and Tell us something good about your culture
Well,
in Trinidad.
Trinidad. Okay, culture from our Indian heritage. We have Indian culture that has remained with us. We enjoy it, the musical form. We didn't learn too much of the language. That was for the grandparents and earlier to speak, and they'll speak the language Hindi when they want to keep something secret from us. so
Oh, I
so
see.
so it was on my own initiative that I learned some Hindi and some Indian classical music. So yeah, so we had the Indian culture, and there was quite an investment made in that by the Indian High Commission. They brought a cultural attaché who actually was very versatile in Indian music and the languages and all that. So that I took advantage of, and I enjoy that. In Trinidad, you might have what is called a Trinidad culture. It's a West Indian culture. It's a um, and basically it's um, it's not even anglicized. It's more, well, some people say it's African culture, but when you speak to folks from Africa, they'll say, no, this is not our culture. We don't know what all this is about.
Hmm, hmm.
So I will just say, okay, culturally, East Indian.
Okay. Um, are there any similarities in Trinidad culture and U.S. culture?
In the U.S., what I notice, there's nothing that I could call an American culture.
Mhm.
At the best, you'll have a mosaic, a bit of this here, a bit of this here, and depending on where you live, you might have a larger proportion of, say, okay, like in Buffalo, what I notice is you have in South Buffalo is very much Irish in the things they celebrate, the sports they play, things like that. You come to the west side, and it's very much Hispanic. That's a pocket there, but they don't mix. These two cultures don't mix. So you have pockets like that in different places. I don't see an American culture.
I reckon you sing as well. I know you play tabla or dholak as well. Can you please sing us maybe one verse or two verses of any song you like the most?
Well, I just ate all that good food that you cook. so
Mm.
um, it'll have to be um, the song that I was taught when I first came to the Lord. Um, it's it's a Hindi song taught by my pastor who had spent several years in Bombay as a missionary there, and it essentially it says, it's a prayer coming to my heart, Lord Jesus. Um, Meant a lot to me then. Um, so मन मंदिर में आ मसीहा मन मंदिर में आ मन मंदिर में आ मसीहा मन मंदिर में आ मुझे तू शुद्ध बना मुझे तू शुद्ध बना मन मंदिर में आ मसीहा मन मंदिर में आ जीवन भरा पाप से मेरा जीवन भरा पाप से मेरा सूझता जिससे नहीं किनारा सूझता जिसे नहीं किनारा, कौन दिखाए मार्ग अब मेरा, कौन दिखाए मार्ग अब मेरा, तू ही मुझे अब बता, हाँ तू ही मुझे अब बता। मन मंदिर में आ मसीहा, मन मंदिर में आ।
Thank you, Mr. Seelagan. Thank you very much for your time. It was wonderful, and I particularly learned a lot of new things. And I appreciate you came to our program. The memories I cherish.
Welcome.
And I thank you for your time, and I request you to send us feedback about the thoughts Mr. Seeligan shared with us. We will welcome those comments, whether positive, whether negative. Tell us about your comments or your thoughts. Please let us know. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.